way you answered that question and some other things you said, that lets me know that you got trauma. And I thought trauma was for people who'd been through war, and then I was like, how could I have trauma? And it comes from, what I had is, or have, I guess, is complex PTSD. It's a mix of early developmental trauma, and there's typically a shock trauma that comes in later. Now, the shock trauma is me falling out of the window that opened all that early developmental trauma up. And so that started my journey of working with this stuff and recognizing that I had trauma. And after a while, it made sense because I was able to connect the chronic disease symptoms that I had been living with, the anxiety, the insomnia, all that stuff for so long. And I thought it was something completely different. It was completely out of my awareness, and that led me into doing one-on-one work, which then led me to doing Irene Lyons' Smart Body, Smart Mind program,
Mm.
and that was my guide. It basically opened all the doors to the things that had been suppressed, and I was able to work with my therapist in conjunction with the course. And eventually, I decided to mentor with Irene, and I just got done doing that for a year to learn how to facilitate this work for others. And it's been it's been a hell of a journey, man. It's been there's been some big ups and some big downs, and lots of healing, and I can say it's worth it. So if anybody's going through it and it's rough, man, keep going. This is the medicine for the planet. And when we heal our nervous system, we heal the collective. We heal the human race. I mean, and we see how much more connected we are, and see how. I mean, I say this is the ultimate red pill because it starts with being aware of our system and our past and our childhood, and then seeing our family system and how that's conditioned and affected us and supported us in some ways, and seeing how society does that and other relationships, and seeing how government and the world works. And it's a lot to take in, and that's why it's so important to go slow and to get help as we go through this.
There's conversations I've had with plenty of people where we can get stuck in a loop of blaming our parents for what they did, but they only had the information up to that time. And then you pretty much, as you brought it up earlier, where it's regardless of the fact of when we actually got the trauma, it's on us to be able to do something about it. And when we're actually able to heal, it's the way my brain works. It's like Gandhi talks about, or the paraphrasing, be the change in the world that you want to see. And we could either be hateful, we could be loving, or we could be indifferent. But either way, we are actually leaving micro bits of energy on other people's lives.
Mm,
And when we start healing, we're allowing other people to realize it's okay to heal. If you were a person that was a very, not saying you, I'll just use me, that liked to fight a lot when I was a kid, that was seeking attention, dealing with complex PTSD. My dad had PTSD from Vietnam, grandfather World War II, my great grandfather World War One, myself Iraq twice,
mm,
and we didn't know how to communicate well. Well, because what's the easiest way to get somebody to be compliant? Physical violence.
mhm,
It's easier, or yelling. The immediate response was actually totally shocks the system. Your body goes into this flight mode and just trying to keep moving really quick. So you're pretty much becoming at a heightened arousal state where you shouldn't even be there. And when you start healing, you start noticing with other people, and you can teach people how to breathe. You can teach people how to just be, to not run from that sensation or run towards or run to, just to be able to be and be able to breathe.
mhm.
So I love what you're doing, man. It sounds like you're just doing the good work and you're trying to give back to people. And it sucks what happened to you, but kind of happy it did in a way, if that actually makes sense, because you're able to give back to other people.
Yeah, me too, man. I don't think I ever would have. I mean, this is what I'm meant to do. I was telling my wife that, yesterday. It feels like it chose me, and even starting and doing the health coaching, I just wanted to help people at a deeper level, and I knew, I mean, food and exercise, that stuff's foundational. Um, yeah, I thought one time I wanted to be a functional medicine doctor, and go back to school and do that. And I'm just so thankful that I found this and that I had to go through what I went through because it made me who I am and it made me a better person. And this work is so needed right now. Actually thankful that I went on this journey sooner. If you look around and see the world, um, there's a lot of crazy shit happening, and there's a lot of beautiful things happening too. And I wouldn't have been able to recognize either before. I was just so shut down and in my stuff. And this is the medicine that the world needs, and I'm really happy to be working through this my own. By no means am I perfect or healed, and it's a lifestyle. It's something I'll be doing for the rest of my life, and I couldn't be more happy doing that and sharing that with others.
Dude, that's excellent, man. So what kind of message would you like to give to people, whoever's listening to this?
I think the message that I like to share is, if this conversation resonates with you, and maybe you don't even know why, right? Maybe you're like, why am I crying? Why am I emotional? Why do I feel like he's talking to me? I hear that a lot. And if that's you, do it. Start doing this work. You can start watching videos on YouTube. There's lots of free content out there. I've got podcasts, so does Will. And start learning this stuff. Grab that book, The Body Keeps the Score. Reach out to a friend or a family member and talk about what's going on. Um, so many people wait for the right time to do this, and that doesn't exist. People say, I need this or that before I do it. I'll do it next year. And unfortunately, a lot of people come to this work because they've hit rock bottom. They've had their ass kicked over and over again. They got no other choice. That was me. And it doesn't have to be like that. You don't have to wait till the end until you don't have any other choice, and you can start doing little bits now. And yeah, learn education is such a big part of this, and then slowly applying what you learn, and you can do so much with at home courses. I'm going to point everybody to Irene Lyon, my mentor. She's got her courses